This was supposed to be another English seaside town. You know, sand, chips, maybe a few colourful huts. But Broadstairs actually surprised me. And not just as a place to visit, but as a place to photograph. In this video, I'll show you the charm of Broadstairs. I'll tell you a few of its hidden stories and share some practical tips for capturing stronger beach and street photos, including how to find beauty, character, and just the right amount of sand in your chips, the proper British seaside way. Broadstairs sits on the Kent coast, famous for its sandy beach, white chalk cliffs, and its connection to Charles Dickens, who spent summers here writing. As you come out of the station, you'd never know that this was a seaside town. The high street stretches on and on, almost in a Twilight Zone kind of way. And at first glance, it's nothing to write home about, unless you really love shop fronts. If you came here without any info, you probably wouldn't know that a seaside existed until you hit the end of the high street and literally walk through this narrow street. And suddenly you're on this beautiful cliff promenade with colourful beach huts and golden sand below. The promenade still has this Victorian charm, though it's definitely weathered by time. That's what I love about shooting in towns like this. They don't give up all their charm at once. You've got to keep walking, keep looking. As a photographer, these contrasts give you loads to work with. Colourful beach huts against the cliffs, the harbour, people sunbathing and even fishing, the curves and angles of Broadstairs Cove, and of course the bright summer light cutting through it all. When you're shooting in a place like this, you might want everything sharp, front to back. For shots with beach huts, people and cliffs all in one, you'll want to keep your aperture small enough to hold that depth of field. I kept my apertures between f5 and f11. I was using the 28mm Ricoh GR3 here and switching between the 35mm and 50mm crop modes to get tighter scenes when I couldn't move closer. Though moving your feet is still the gold standard. Nobody remembers the photographer who zoomed from the bench. On a bright sunny day like this, you'll also want to dial back your exposure compensation slightly throughout the day to protect your highlights. The harsh light can easily blow out details in the sky. You'll also notice how tricky it is to shoot people on the beach itself. There's almost always somebody wandering through your frame, usually just at the wrong moment. So I found that the better moments often happen just off the sand or at the edges of the beach. You still get the atmosphere along with the endless parade of bare legs, men's shorts and windbreakers. Just a quick one. Please give this video a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. It really helps me keep making more content like this. And if you go on my website, my Lightroom presets are currently 10% off. Just use the code SUMMER10. And if you want to take your street photography learning even further, my Patreon is the best way to do it. Members get downloadable cheat sheets, new presets when they become available, monthly challenges, and video breakdowns, plus an even bigger discount across my store. Thanks for watching. All the links are below. One thing I think is important to do is keep experimenting when you're shooting, even by the sea. Up by the harbour, I use this railing and boats to build a layered shot. Layered shots like this feel more three-dimensional, and they also help tell a story. Boats, the beach, and the town up on the cliffs. I was at F11 here to keep everything sharp. It's good fun moving around and trying different things, even if most of them fail in spectacular fashion. The more I wandered here, the more little details started popping out. You've just got to keep shooting and stay creative. I caught these two fellas standing on a boat. They were probably breaking at least 3 rules, but the chain and the rotting beams make a lovely accidental frame, so who cares? You can do the same with beach huts. There they work great as textured leading lines and frames. And just remember, a lot of the shots just won't work out, and that's fine. The more you play around and experiment, the more you'll start to see what really works, and that's when it gets exciting. If you want to get more in depth with layering your shots, the next video is going to be a deep dive into that, so stay tuned. What really struck me about Broadstairs is how much history still clings to the place, and how you can capture that in the photos that you take. Dickens called it his favourite holiday town, and you can still feel that old Victorian elegance in the promenade and in the way that the place hasn't changed very much. That feeling comes through best when you time your shots right, catch a quiet moment, and you can really bring out the textures, the colours, and the stories. And sometimes the quietest moment is just one man, a towel, and the full commitment to seaside relaxation. The beach itself has seen so much, from wartime defences to generations of Londoners escaping the city, and you can capture all that just by looking for the right details. Weathered doors, faded signs, and the cliffs which are kind of scarred by time. And sometimes it's not about what you put in the frame, it's about what you leave out. I waited for this guy and his big rubber ring to walk just into the right spot in the surf. Keeping the water wide and empty around him created a feeling of scale and solitude. Just by using the rule of thirds, with all of this negative space, makes the image feel more cinematic. And don't forget the colour. Seaside towns do colour better than anywhere. Inflatable boats, beach huts, all sorts of things that you can play with your camera. Take a wander through town too. Locals can give you a hint of what the place is actually like, and tourists have their own laid-back character that you just don't see on the city streets. And when you've had enough of capturing people, that's the beauty of streetscapes. You can always turn back to the sea. So it has to be said that Broadstairs, it's certainly one of the most characterful seaside towns that I've been to. And I've been to quite a few around the English coast. It turned out to have way more character than I expected. That's what keeps me doing this. You'll never know what you'll find when you slow down and take a proper gander. It's a beautiful town with lots of interesting pubs and restaurants, and it has a great sandy beach for you to relax on if that's your kind of thing. So what seaside resort do you have close to you that you can shoot? Or do you live too far away from the beach to make a shoot worthwhile? And if so, how far away? I'd love to know, and I think the community would too. So please let us know down below. And if you enjoyed this mix of streets, seascapes and stories, just stick around. This is the kind of photography video I love making, exploring characterful places and capturing them in my own way. You're still going to get my regular actionable tips and techniques alongside these exploration videos, so you can keep learning while you're on the journey. Don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter for tips and offers. And as I said earlier, if you want to learn on the go, check out my Patreon for presets and work tools you can download. Now check out this video here for 5 street photography tips I wish I knew sooner. Until we meet again, go forth and create.